This is my Leachianus Gecko Rin as a baby. She was born October 7th, 2018, and you can see her parents and some of her other family members on the account Muriel the Gecko on Instagram. She looks a lot like her mother, actually. Courtney reached out to me when Rin was 10 months old and wondered if I had wanted a pet-only Leachie. At that point, I had been looking for a pet-only Leachie for a really long time, so I enthusiastically said yes. Rin's egg was a little patchy, which can be indicative of not enough calcification, and she hatched out with the slightest underbite and a little bit of a sunken head. She was also a picky eater, which might have caused her head to look a little sunken in the first place. All of Rin's siblings had no issues, and to prevent someone from breeding Rin, Courtney reached out to me, which I am so grateful for. I met up with Courtney in August of 2019 to pick up Rin, and she's been with me ever since. As you'll come to see as the photos progress through time, Rin is huge now, and she quickly outgrew her slight issues. There's no underbite or sunken skull to be seen, and fortunately her appetite picked up greatly as she ate every single thing I put in front of her, from different flavors of Pangea to different insects and even a slice of banana. She would even sit on her feeding ledge and wait for food. She had a fantastic temperament for the first year and a half or so of having her, but she's become a bit of a grumpy butt, especially after I moved her into her biggest enclosure, which you'll see later. And I'll also include a bunch of grumpy butt breakdowns where we take a break and you just listen to her being grumpy. Some of the photos that you'll see include Rin in different setups, so I want to address that for a minute just for transparency's sake. Rin lived in a bin enclosure when she arrived, but I moved her into a 20-gallon vertical after her quarantine period ended, and she lived in that while I built her a 40-gallon vertical bioactive. And she was in that until the beginning of this year when she moved into a 2x2x4 Zen habitats, which you'll see a tour of at the end of this video. That has been my favorite way to keep her, other than the grouchiness, and now it's time for a grump butt break. So as you can see, Rin was a little bit grumpy before I moved her into the new enclosure, but you'll see that amped up later on in different clips of her in her new enclosure. In the new enclosure, no matter how many hides I offer her, no matter how much money I spend on massive cork rounds that are so wide I can fit my arm through them, but she can still get through plenty, she can still have a lot of hiding space. No matter how much time and money I spend on finding the perfect cork pieces for her giant body, she doesn't use them. She just lays right in the open on her manzanita branches and then gets mad when she sees people. And I'm like, girl, if you were hiding, we wouldn't be able to see you. Okay, so now she's about to be moved into her new enclosure. As you can see, this is her climbing around the background of it. Like I said already, it is a 2x2x4 Zen Habitats enclosure, and I actually have an affiliate link with Zen Habitats down below. It's a great way to support the channel and get yourself a really nice enclosure. This is my first time using one of their arboreal enclosures, and I actually really like it. I've been using it for just shy of a year now, and it was no more challenging to put together than the traditional 4x2x2 horizontal enclosures or terrestrial enclosures, and I don't mind any aspect of it. I figured, it's not going to be sliding doors, maybe I won't like that. Nope, I haven't had any issues with the latches. So if you're interested in getting your Leachianus Gecko and arboreal enclosure, or if you're interested in just getting a new enclosure in general, I recommend Zen Habitats, and again, my link is down below. As you can see, there's a bunch of naturalistic elements in here, but they do not have live plants. That is because I learned the hard way that Leachianus geckos will crush live plants. I tried a snake plant, I tried philodendron, I tried pothos, which are all usually pretty stable and able to withstand. Nope, they could not withstand her. Not her ginormous poops, not her ginormous weight, could not. And now it's time for another grump butt break. So in this clip, you can see I am pointing out all of the hides she has that she doesn't use. She has 8 cork rounds throughout the enclosure. Some are vertical, some are horizontal, some are small, some are big, but all of them are big enough for her whole body to fit through, and yet she uses 0 of them, which surprises me because her cork in the top left corner was her favorite in the old enclosure, so I made sure to replicate that, and she doesn't use it whatsoever, which is very frustrating. She also has a bunch of manzanita branches. As you can tell, those are her absolute favorite. She also has bioactive substrate with a few species of isopod and springtails and leaf litter, you know, the whole works of a bioactive substrate. Again, not live plants, but that is because she will crush them to death. I cannot tell you how long I spent scrubbing hard caked on poop off of the pothos leaves in her 40-gallon. So she does not get live plants. She's also quite abusive with her fake plants. She loves to knock them over. As you can see in this clip here, that one is literally knocked completely out of place. She likes to do that with the plants on the bottom of the enclosure and the plants on the top of the enclosure. In the middle, not so much. But the top and bottom, oh yeah, those ones are in for it all the time. One thing that's different about this enclosure from her previous 40-gallon, other than the size, is that she has a DHP, a deep heat projector, because she's downstairs now and it is colder on the lower floor than it is on the upper floor. So just to make sure her temperature stayed the same, she has a DHP, which you might see in some of the clips. Now let's talk about the background really quick. It is not my best work, so please don't think this is a fair representation of my craftsmanship, because it is not. This was my first attempt at using the Gorilla Glue method of background building, and I should definitely have done that in a smaller enclosure first as like a test run, but no, I just decided to do a big enclosure, which was a bad idea. Grumpy butt. So I used Gorilla Glue to put all of like the earth sections onto the background, and you can't see it. I mean, there's probably some clips where you can, but it's very, very patchy. Like there's definitely spots that I missed and you know, just needed better accuracy that I did not provide when building this background. She doesn't know the difference, and a lot of it is covered with cork or wood or fake plants, so I don't feel as bad about it, but it's definitely not my prettiest enclosure. It looks cool from afar. That's all that matters. I also used expanding foam to hold a lot of the cork in place on the background and then worked around that with Gorilla Glue, and that was a big challenge for such a deep enclosure because the enclosure is already assembled when I started to build it, so it was just really hard to get into all the angles. I definitely recommend not trying something new on such a big enclosure first. Despite the fact that Rin is quite a vocal, angry lady, I absolutely adore her. I take every scream or bark with glee, and I was just telling my boyfriend last night that I would happily have another Leachy because they are such cool reptiles. Damn, Leachy! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about Rin. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or by becoming a channel member. We would love to have you. Please also consider hitting the like button, the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. Leave a comment. And with all that, I will see you guys on the next one, which may or may not be a reptile house tour if the next couple of weeks go by okay, because oh my god, it is so much work to prepare for one of those videos. But that's the plan right now. So see you guys then. And a special thank you from me, Benjamin, and the rest of the animals here at Jessica's Animal Friends to our patrons and channel members.